Well, welcome back here for the last game of the day, joined with my sparring partner, Stewie Forbes.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Good to be back after my extended lunch break, and looking forward to a cracking game between the Raiders and the Rogues this afternoon.
Yeah, so the Rogues have in their lineup in the dribbles Kate Argent-Bowden, Di Murch, and Max Kleinig.
And for the Raiders, rather, they've got to have Laney McGorman, sorry. Michael Lodge and Chris Flavel. As I have a Josh Thompson mental blank.
Well, it does help to get the your players in your team names right, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. I'd be good with all the Holdy guys, but unfortunately, everyone else, you got to take that extra second and go, hang on, is that just exactly what I'm going for, or so?
So we're just waiting for the announcements to finish from Matthew Northcott, and we're underway.
And the Raiders won the toss and elected to bowl. Sorry, rather the Rogues do. And Kate Argent-Bowden setting us off, and in spectacular style. That's a great opening shot.
Well, if there were any nerves, they're definitely not showing.
Yeah, exactly right. Another... I seem to be claiming all the Barossa products as my own, but I know it's not the case. So, representing the Angaston Bowling Club. And one of the top bright young prospects in the under-18 development program, and from that ball alone, you can see it's clearly paying dividends, and expect to see more of that today.
Had a lot of juniors out there today playing. First game up this morning, Tyson Wilson, of course, just leaving the under-18 program, supported by Nathan Black, and that absolute cracking game against James Gregory and Scott Folman, which ended up in the draw. Yeah,
well, I mean, Nathan Black's no stranger to beating stars. In his debut at Adelaide Masters, he beat Karen Murphy, so the guy can clearly throw a bowl down. And then in the second game, which I was fortunate to be a part of, we had Grace Maloney and Stephanie Clark. So today's really been showcasing the young talent, even if accidentally, which is, I think, nothing but great for the sport.
Yeah, well, look, you got really, really good... blend of talent from all over South Australia. We're joined by Nico, last game, from York Peninsula, Middleton.
Yeah, good country town. Middleton seemed to be promising.
This one ain't going to be short.
And proved to be all that and more as matches Lodgie's bowl.
Lodgie needs to drop about 4 or 5 feet in this one.
Well, he is tall enough, he could afford to.
Probably picking up, put it there. Concentrate, not shine on his face. Have a look at it. Hey, right smile. It's
like a stone golem the way he just shows no poker face. Just complete concentration. And a fantastic correction at that.
Yeah,
just slightly shy. It's going to make things interesting on the crossover. Yep. Max looks warmed up, ready to play.
Oh, Max is on fire. Look at him. He's keener than mustard.
He's been to Scotland. This is a summer day for them.
Yep. Of course, Maxie opting for the shorts.
Actually, I'm actually surprised there's more pant wearers than there have been. The shorts have taken over in bowls in the recent years and only gaining traction.
Well, sort of Craig Mills after the game. He says, I don't know what made me choose shorts. He goes, it was warm when I ordered them.
So only had to allow for 2 months of bad weather. And
so the whole competition dates obviously blew you away.
Yeah. Chris Flavel falling short there gives Max all the room to work with. And it looks like new bowls that Max is playing with. He had white and red last season at Holdfast, so clearly shows that there's no obstacle for him in this game.
Yeah, probably just misjudging the line on that one. Weight was good.
I've watched him for a number of years now as a teammate and occasionally an opponent, and he lets them go. You never actually think it's going to end up bad. They always just seem online from the minute they leave his hand. He's just got that poise and confidence about him.
Yep. We were talking very similar with Scott Folburn, James Gregory game. Somewhat confident with Scott Folburn leading for you that the bowl's going to be around that mark somewhere and doing something.
Yeah, you'd struggle to find a better leader than Scott Thelborn, and if you do, they'd be in the same national programs that he's involved in. But
I said it was interesting that he arrived just before the game, didn't have a practice bowl, and his first 9 bowls within 12 inches. But he did allude to the fact that he might have been around the home somewhere training on the green there. Although his coach did indicate I was probably lied to.
yeah, he was at the Golden Nugget earlier in the week. Don't think he did particularly well, but by no means a disgrace. That's probably
Of course, there's several times that you and I have actually been there and played in it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting for my second invite.
It must have got lost in the mail.
But no, it's I mean, to be invited to that prestigious event is a note in itself, let alone performing well in it.
Exactly.
As mentioned earlier in the game I commentated about, Grace Maloney finishing third in the junior nugget. That's only just a stepping stone for the seniors, and to get a podium position, that's only boding well for the future.
Well, it's definitely something that you take with you as you transit through your bowls career.
Yeah.
Build confidence from. It's any competition at a national level, even at a state level. They're not lay down as their wins. They're real. There's talent out there. You've got to earn your place and then earn your win.
Yeah, exactly right. And speaking of boding well, Kate Bowden Argent has played a great first one, slightly behind, taking the shot, and really set herself up to correct for a great second shot here. Probably one of my smoother segues of the season so far.
This one's definitely not going to be short. Probably, that's why they're round.
Yeah, it's
square it wouldn't have got there.
Exactly right. The lucky bounce, as I'll affectionately call it. Always that little bit of extra run on with the synthetic. When you hit them, they don't stop immediately like they do with turf.
Yep.
But that's still going to be helpful for Max, and especially Di now that she steps onto the mat, as Michael Lodge fails to capitalise on the room.
Yeah, looking at it, they're probably you're going for that percentage shot of dragging the kitty back there, but there's plenty of room to work with out there, isn't there?
Yeah, with that kind of room, you don't need to be playing shots straight away.
Of course.
He is a Cats
Of course,
fan.
that's Michael Waldash passing by the commentary box. Very, very astute one-eyed Richmond Tigers supporter.
Going up to his only Geelong supporter in this team and trying to motivate him with their club song. I think we're going to see a few offense from Max here coming up.
We might try and catch Max on the crossover and see how motivated he actually is.
Just how spiteful is he?
Lodgy trying to give it a little bit more room, trying to adjust.
Yeah, everyone that I've spoken to while I had the break was saying just how difficult this wide hand towards us has been, particularly when there's bin wind, let alone without, as we're experiencing now. So,
well, the rain has actually settled in at the moment, and the rain settled in, the wind's died away fractionally, which I don't know which is the better of the two evils here at the moment, but undercover, it's game on.
Yeah, exactly right.
I guess... Max, how motivational was that music? Yeah, Michael Waldash's music.
Max said it worked about as well as Geelong's backline, so...
There you go.
So, there we go. Dasher, if you're listening, I'd suggest you rethink your program.
He's putting it away now. Put it in the jacket.
He's learnt quick. You want to have a Max on side rather than against you, especially if he's your teammate.
Oh, I'll tell you what. That's actually... that's both of theirs back there.
Yeah, spiked it sideways towards Chris Flavel, but...
I don't know if it's got all the way across.
Yeah, still seems too close to Cole. You'd expect Max to at least break that deficit.
And money on.
So he smoothed that delivery up since last time I saw him play. It was already pretty smooth then.
Probably would have got that extra 6 feet if you weren't on it all the way.
What can I say? I'm a passionate holdie man. I know, make no apologies. Well, and Chris, with the excess weight of his first bowl, hasn't taken any off, which is to his credit as he looks to draw this cold.
It's going to go through. I'll tell you what. He's managed
almost
to,
called
well,
it. Michael Lodge indicated 2, but then smiled at the result.
Di Merch said 2 down.
Yeah, so there we go. So big bowl here for Max. Has given it a bit extra. Just does he have the carry?
He has done it all. He's done it all.
That's a big bowl for Maxi. That's a huge shot. Taking a lot of fibre to not celebrate that one myself, actually. I'm so used to it on Saturdays.
One. So the scores are a mystery because this is the second end.
Yeah. One to the Rogues, and we'll see what happens with the.
Because Nathan Sutton said he was in charge of the little placards, and that's got Salisbury 1, Western Rogues 1. So obviously couldn't get the job done.
It's new, yeah. Well, he did say that he wasn't doing anything earlier, so living up to that reputation, I think. He's probably kicking himself that he mentioned that to us.
Yeah, so we're going to start look for evenness now because there's another one over there he hasn't done.
So Nathan, if you are listening, there's plenty of work to be done and forever to do it in.
Just watch bowls on SBS. Yeah, it's the second-rated bowl show in Australia.
Yeah, definitely second-rated commentary team, that's for sure.
Oh, got a long way to go to step up to the mark. A little bit of work here for Laney just to get past that. It's a little bit difficult maybe on there, but that's probably about 6 feet, 7 feet out.
It never fails to surprise me how often a bowl in your line can just get in your way. That even if it happens to be 6, 7, 8 feet out, it always just seems to be that problematic one. Kate changing hands hasn't quite mastered it yet, but still holding 2. That's better than none.
Laney deciding to change hands also. So see if
it doesn't
a little bit narrower.
Doesn't look congested from the angle that the bowls are sitting on, but from the mat side, being the tighter hand,
Chris Flavel likes that one, and why wouldn't he?
Yeah, nothing too dislike about that. That's a great correction.
Michael Lodge likes it too. We clap a thunder on the high five. Very dangerous, Lodgey, with you with those high fives.
Yeah, they heard that in Modbury Heights.
You're going to be checking the weather site for lightning thunder.
Category 3 in Salisbury, you reckon?
Wow, easy hitter, eh?
And Nick Storer, go Max. We'll be sure to pass on the word of support.
Yep. Bit of appropriate background music with Eye of the Tiger playing.
Yeah, exactly right. I think Mike Waldash has gone off to his own dance routine at this point. Just fits in with what he was displaying earlier.
Actually disappeared from the scene here. He might have been done in.
He's too overwhelmed with tigerness.
Got that little lay down in the shed at the back there.
Bruce Field says, "Go Kate, great leading." She is indeed, especially early on. Naturally expect her to get into more of a rhythm, but starting off well. Di Merch on her second bowl. The first one was an absolute hummer. And this
one's not too bad either.
Yeah, she's played 2 great shots here.
That's a better than that bowl. Yep.
Yeah, 2 great shots by Di Merch. Max is smiling internally if he doesn't even express it himself. He always likes to play things close to his chest while they're not certain.
Well, you don't want to give too much away. It's
you don't want.
Always like your learning bowl or whatever else, and the opposition's just put a bowl down, and your skipper actually tells, or you put your bowl down, and your skipper's telling them, 2 or 3. Hey, why? Why give information away?
Exactly right.
Might be free, but doesn't mean you have to hand it over free.
Yeah, I think it goes to the old sort of style of you talk loud enough and say enough info, it might dishearten the opposition a bit. But in this day and age,
when it's your own skipper, it worries me a little bit.
Yeah, and with the talent that we have these days, those mental games just don't work anymore. So yeah, I agree. I don't see the purpose anymore.
No, there was. I guess we were talking about before many years ago. I guess when it's the leads and the two sit on the bank and the three does all the talking. Well, nowadays, there's a lot of commentary going on in the game, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know that from playing too this past season. Always giving in a bit of advice.
Gary Bennevis, no, the wind has died down, Gary. It's basically down to about less than 5 kilometres an hour.
I'd say it's probably the calmest it's been all day as well.
Yeah.
And
it's also the wettest.
Yeah, so the rain's keeping it away. It's not good for the spectators. It's pretty chilly out here, but at least it makes for at least more consistent bowling.
The diehards are here. And they're actually having a great display of bowls all day across all rinks, actually, as a matter of fact.
It's been fantastic. And the way they've done the round robin, so to speak, with both all 8 teams playing double headers back to back, allows the players to continue on to stay warm and not have to try and find 2 hours worth of activity to do. And also, if you can just watch your team that you're supporting in block fashion rather. So I think that's been a great move all up.
Yep. Having a look at the singles, you've got Tony Treloar, 5 zip up over Seoul.
Yes.
And the triples, well, I don't know what's happening there.
The
pairs, the pairs. It seems to be world's best kept secret over there. The zeros across the board.
I see a lot of white balls close, which means Brady Slater's 2-year retirement has not slowed him down one bit. One of the interesting cases of the draft, the only retired player to get picked to play.
That was a very interesting stat that was worked out within milliseconds of the selection. There's some interesting selections through the draft, and I guess there's no apologies are needed because it's the first year. We all learn from errors.
Exactly.
Or, I wouldn't say errors, probably choice is the wrong word, but there's improvement opportunities that can be looked at, refined, to make this great product even better.
Yeah, and having said that, Brady's probably one of the few players I've known. When I joined Marion many years ago, he was living in England for 6 years, hadn't touched a bowl, and his first bowl was a toucher as soon as he landed in Australia. So he's one of those unique talents that can walk away from it and pick it up as if he never left.
Yep. I reckon, and I might be mistaken, but I reckon I came up against him at Closey and young Close in his first game back from the UK was Edwardstown Prawn Day.
Yeah, that would have been the case. Yeah, young Bradley Close now in the army, and his last season of bowls before he went to the military was won state triples, beating his own brother in the final. So.
Yep. So I can tell you, Brady Slater accounted for himself very well in that first return. I reckon he got off the plane the night before.
That sounds about right.
I reckon it was something similar to that, if my memory serves me correct. It was definitely Ash, his brother, and actually Ash's dad as well played in that for us.
Oh, Gourmet Gary.
Yeah.
That's I heard they actually picked him up halfway over the Pacific. Couldn't get off the plane quick enough.
Well, look, Kate yet again has dropped one on holding one there. Lane, he wasn't too far away with the first. He's not going to be too far away with the second one either, by the way.
Yeah, and through with both bowls, so they're always going to be useful later on. Kate, whilst nailing the closest one, obviously had to make that correction on the shorter bowl. But when with someone of that young age, naturally, this kind of format might be a bit intimidating. But yeah, naturally, she's going to improve as the game goes on, and everyone plays those kinds of shots, but.
I always found it. It's actually interesting. We played up on the Gold Coast in April and May, and around 3:30 in the afternoon, it was like someone had actually turned the heater off, and you can feel it here as well. 3:30, 4 o'clock comes around, that cool air just starts coming across.
Oh yeah, it's I feel like it's dropped at least maybe 5 to 10 degrees in the last 30-40 minutes just from sitting on the side. And
Where you can see Maxi's got his hands very much dug into those pockets.
Yeah, he's like the legal team from last Friday. But no, and those kinds of things, I've found cold weather can affect synthetic surfaces in various ways, speeding it up, making it wider. So how fast these players can adjust to those changes, if there are any, having not played on it much myself, remains to be the big
I
question.
reckon this one slows down.
But yeah,
I've got a funny feeling when I've played here. I've played sort of night games, and in summer though, when the temperature starts to hit down around 8 o'clock at night, they tend to slow up just a fraction,
which is uncharacteristic to most. So.
Yeah.
But I suppose that plays more truer to a turf green, so players aren't going out of their comfort zone and they can rely on their own memory from grass greens.
I remember, I was talking earlier on. We're at Nova Gardens, which has also got a carpet green and very similar, if not the same as this one here. But they actually had one prior to that. That when the sun went down, that cooled down. You're right. It sped up to what they reckon was around 21 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And because the normal pennant bowlers couldn't handle it, the night owl bowlers used to beat them. They were used to it.
Actually, one interesting story from Nova Gardens. In 2012, in the lead up to World Bowls in Adelaide, I was lucky to be in the state squad selected to play Australia and New Zealand. And it poured down with rain, and it was about 5 degrees when we were out in the green. So even the Australian guys on this 24-second carpet couldn't even handle it. So you'd have Mark Casey draw a shot, and he's only a metre close. And so it just goes after so many seconds, even the cream of the crop start to lose all their bearings.
Now, I did get a bit of a snippet, a bit of an insight here, which I don't know. Truthfully, we may be joined next Friday night by Mark Casey.
That'll be a huge coup, especially with Helensvale launching their new Ultimate Bowls Championship earlier this week.
He is very much involved. Doesn't work for Bowls Australia anymore.
Yeah,
he's 100% committed to this new Ultimate Bowls.
Yeah, so this Super League almost seems like a father figure to this new and improved format. Yep. So it's good to see SA really being the front runner and innovator of these new tournaments.
Yep.
But there's a lot of good stories to be told from Casey. I've had a few laughs with him over the years. I hope he still remembers me. It's been a while.
You sure you want him to remember you?
Well, Glass does, so. How you feeling, Max? Max finally just standing nearby.
It's positive.
Hey, Maxie, it's very positive there. It was 4 and not a 6.
the
Right
consummate glass half full look.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
You might not have rose tinted glasses on, but at the very least.
So that score now, after what have we got? Must be close to 4 ends.
So not the start the Rogues really wanted, but a lot of
5-2.
I think a lot of the Raiders players had previously played where they've got a few cold people coming into this second game for the Rogues. So
gunshot in the distance. Sound like a gunshot in the distance.
Yeah, there's a joke to be told there, but we'll leave it.
Did say we were north of Grange Road. They're burning something over there, and there's gunshots in the distance. Of course, we are close to the military base. So
yeah, RAF Base Edinburgh is not too far away. I reckon if Sam Dietrich drove as hard as he could reach it with.
I think if Sam Dietrich drove as hard as he could probably make the same noise.
Yeah, this is exactly right.
Unfortunately, if Sam does drive that hard, will be a few problems because I can actually see him up the back there. He might be a pitch invader.
Well, I mean, it's only a matter of time before Lawn Bowls gets its first, and what a better avenue.
There was a lot of firsts last week.
Exactly right. It's only fashion right that this trend continues.
The keep comments coming through. They seem to have dried up a little bit there. Let us know you're still out there.
Yeah, let us know where you're from, who you're supporting, what club even. And
65 people watching.
Yeah, we'll be sure to interact with you as much as can and keep you updated on not only this game but all the others.
or is there another option? Look, I could be funny and say option is no score. I did bring up on Wednesday's show that it's difficult for us to see across the other side. We are updating the other rinks in this game, but unfortunately with people, coaches and players in the way, we don't have a clear vision on all of the games. But I'd suggest the triples in the Chargers Pirates is 7-zip. 5-3 in the pairs. And it leaves the singles 5-7. So 5-7 in favour of, I'd say that was the Pirates.
Yeah, from what I can gather from the masterboard, the total score is 17-10 in favour of the Chargers. So I could be wrong. They have failed to put up one of the team signs. So from this distance, I can only read the score, but it's
Jackson Saunders says the scores are the wrong way around. Well,
you've got a job to do, Jackson.
They are the wrong way around. Well, yeah, no, that's the right way.
And as for the game in front of us, the pairs of Brady Slater and Jaden Zeller versus Mitch Percy and Carl Shapel is 5-3 in favour of the Rogues. The singles is currently 4 apiece, and the triples in front of us, as you can see on the screen, is 5-2 in favour of the Raiders. So early days and not a lot in it.
It's great parenting. This, I actually don't even know where he is in the crowd or if he's even here. Hopefully his mother took him home.
Nominate you for Father of the Year next Oz Day.
Awesome effort. But yeah, he's a big boy. He plays for the Eastern Raiders, so I'm sure that him and his squad will look after each one another.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm sure he's hidden around a corner with a bunch of friends trying to make some jokes at the commentary, perhaps. He wouldn't be straying too far, that's for sure. Chris Flavel sent down a very good first bowl, just shy of the white, but gives him another in the head.
Yep. Chris Flavel starting to consolidate, finding his range.
I think between him and Mitch Percy, given they're both from Payneham, they're the resident masters of this synthetic surface, so there's naturally a level of expectation from the two of them.
We're joined by Steve Grant, just quickly. Steve, how are you?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Good. The guys out here in the triples starting to come work together quite well.
Yeah, well, the triples is undefeated in the Raiders, so we hope they keep it going.
So how are we looking? Obviously we're very much concentrating on this game here, but Mitch Percy and Carl Shapel.
Yeah, I think they're 1 or 2 behind, so
plenty
still
of
early days.
Plenty of ends left. So mate, prediction overall?
Well, I'm hoping for a close encounter.
You're hoping for a close one, or just a sit back and
if
cruise?
we win by 1 or 2, mate, that'd be lovely. It's a very good side.
That's a very diplomatic answer if I've ever heard one.
You put him right on the spot there, don't you? For all the people that are listening.
Feel like deep inside you want to say 40 shots.
I'm getting a sense of a big number in your head.
Look, they're a good side, the Western Rogues. I think the final was played the game before this with the Central Chargers and the Rogues. So that's my prediction for the final.
Yeah, was a very impressive game. And both teams weren't even playing their full strength side, so there's a sense of both have more to give.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
it was a close game too, wasn't it? There's only a few shots in the end on it.
Yeah, it wasn't too much of 1 or 2 shots overall. We commentated the Craig Mills Josh Studham game. I know Craig probably wasn't 100% coming into the game.
Okay.
His pre-match warm-up routine was probably something to be desired. Because Crows having a win last night, you could.
Well, that's it there.
I feel like the Mills Studham game was a close sense of Mr. Miyagi versus Jackson.
Right, Steve, thanks very much, mate. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Granny.
So, Steve Grant, coach of the Eastern Raiders.
Speaking of Josh Studham, Stewie, fill me in on the overall. As it currently stands, the Raiders are 12 to the Rogues 9. So still nothing in it, and a lot of ends to come, as TJ just said. In the meantime, Laney McGorman's gone sailing through with the first, but on the tee it seems.
Yeah, on the tee's not going to hurt at all.
With Chris and Max at the helm, a bowl on the tee is never going to go to waste.
Peter Roast again from Moonturp. Roasty.
Yeah, good to see Rosty again tuning in. Got to keep to my contractual agreement of a drink from whenever I give him a shout out. So thanks for tuning in once more.
Say his name 6 times.
It's like looking into a mirror and saying Bloody Mary. And Amanda Hill saying hello. Unfortunately, Hilly's on the other side of the green, currently lining up. Not entirely sure how things are shaping up for him.
Oh, he's up against Mills.
So he's definitely he's got his arms full at the very least, considering Millsy's fresh off his last game.
Oh, Millsy's having a run over there. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Couldn't hit the side of a bus. That's Craig Beaker Mills for those watching at home.
I suppose after last time we call him Craig Walker, leader of men.
Leader of men. Yeah.
Leader of hitting a post. Anyway, I didn't even see the game, so I can't comment.
I didn't either, so I'm going to stay right clear of it.
I celebrated too hard from my team beating Brisbane by 3.
Well, that's actually a good game. Do you know, actually it was interesting, after the first 4 games of the AFL, Hawthorn-Essendon was the greatest winning margin by 4 points up to that stage. All 4 games were under 4 points.
There you go. It's sort of good in a way that the close games are sort of coming back into it. There was a bit of time where, teams are getting flogged left, right and centre. So
yeah, it's interesting you say that because my team, Carlton, played GWS.
The less said about that, the better.
That's an absolute whopping. They got whopped. So Mark Prominence, notice Mark hasn't given us an update on that game.
Hayley Wolfett, hello. Hello, thanks for tuning in. Mike Teakle and Philip Spears both with a thumbs up.
Teakle score? No thanks, mate. I don't do drugs. We'll do the scores every second end, guys. We actually Stuart Forbes only just went through them, so a bit more rain just to keep us honest.
Yeah, we're. Tell you what, if it weren't for this tent, we'd be dressed up like Sherpas to try and stay warm. I reckon.
If it wasn't for this tent, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I can tell you that straight away.
Mike Teagle, that's debatable. Sol's the son of Lloyd for Simon Gator Johnson. Son of Lloyd, there we go. So, like we used to call Sam Denton, son of Squint or Sauce. Had nothing to do with Stephen Solvani.
All right, Chris, holding one there.
Might even be 2 actually. Both red sticker bowls. So
well, there you go.
Holding 2, through with the first, but
has. You know what? That's actually not a bad home there. Sort of midway.
Covers up any chance Max has for trailing Jack for a good shot. It's going to take a hell of an effort from here. I think Max is just all about sort of damage control at this point. Play a hummer. And tell you what,
absolute cracker.
That's a great shot. Cuts it back to 2. This is not the easiest surface to play on, as I know from the induction day. But
so we get a bit of a rogue nation going. We've got Corey Wildash. Corey, how are you, buddy?
Good, thanks, TJ. How are you?
Good, mate. Well, we've I had Nico with me in the commentary last game.
How'd you go?
I reckon I've accidentally got him voted as mayor over there in York Peninsula. We've got hashtag Nico for mayor going on. Millington were all shut down. They're all in the pub streaming the game.
Excellent. Yeah, no, he's a good lad, Nick, isn't he?
He is, mate. Now, how'd you find the conditions today?
Found him tough, personally.
Yep.
I struggled out there. A little bit slower than the night game, but look, we're up against some pretty stiff competition there. They're pretty good, the Chargers, so hopefully we can get a win here.
They are. I was saying I had a bit of a joke with Roy Palmer, their coach, and it must be hard picking your team, mate. There's a who's who in the zoo in that squad, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got a fair line-up, haven't I? I think Rudy said that this will be the end of his... well, not the end of the tournament for him, but he's away for a few weeks, so that might put a bit of a dent in their side. But I think, look, yeah, we're still a big chance here.
And look, and it's not to say, as I have said all the way along, that each squad has numerous talented players in it. It's not taken away, but they really have got some. If you look at the credentials, the Australian Open wins behind them. You go up against Steve Dennis, Wayne Rudiger. You go, okay. You're going to have to pull out all stops to beat them. They're not going to let you walk over them.
Let alone the fact you got to compete with Craig Mills in the singles and Mark Haynes on the other rink next door. That's just a chock full squad of talent right there. So
yeah, Yeah, look, Renata,
Oh.
she's all class, isn't she, on the mat again today? So that was good fun. I love it. And, coming over from the peninsula, this is what we want.
Exactly right.
Mate, well, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks,
Go and
boys.
try and stay warm somewhere.
That's the plan. Hopefully Nick didn't lead you astray.
So
No, Nick did an absolutely brilliant job. Actually, I might have to duck out a bit early here, and I think he's going to come and fill in for me. So he did an absolutely cracking job.
you can lead me astray as well then.
I think he's got, what did he say? He's got a few hundred people watching that have never had anything to do with bowls. They just wanted to hear him commentate.
The amount of people that came on for Millington was actually incredible. He's really got the town hooked in the lawn bowls at the moment.
He's a funny boy.
He did a really good job, mate.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers, Corey.
Cheers, mate.
There's a few people running for cover now. It's about,
Yeah,
oh my God.
it's truly bucketing down
It
right here
is.
at Salisbury Bowling Club. Not sure how this will affect the connection in any way, shape,
I
or
don't
form.
think it's raining cats and dogs. We've gone on to bigger animals at the moment.
Yeah,
It is pouring down.
there's so much rain, all the leaves on the roof are actually getting washed away.
Just better worry about all this water going down the front of that marquee. The production team are looking to cover up all this IT equipment quite quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it was forecast. However, you never expect to see it just the way it is. And
Yeah, 4:30 in the afternoon is pretty inconvenient to start raining.
yeah, going by the cloud cover, it looks well and truly
It's
set in.
another first.
Yeah.
First time it's rained.
Yeah, first time it poured down as well.
Yeah. First time it's rained in a game of Super League.
There we go. Right. If there's the first to be had, it's on the TJ and Stewie show.
It's always, well, you won't see that, but
our sub
Izzy from Bowls SA has walked
absol-
around the front there, and the rain's
Absolutely
picked up,
drenched.
water on it, Oliver, right in front of it.
we're gonna have to put that caution tape around you.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny when it happens to someone else, Stu.
if Rob Durdeck were here, it'd be on ridiculousness.
Would be. Right, back to Bowls.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the
Back
bowls.
to the Bowls now. What Bowls? Yeah, what Bowls? Well, he's definitely got one up there, probably 2 or 3 at the moment, I'd suggest.
Yeah, Dyer Merch seems to be the lone rogue bowl there at this present stage, and there's just been a sudden increase of wind, which I think affected.
Very strategic short bowl to stop a drive into that pack, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Taking away all of Maxi's fancy shots and making him play a real game of bowls.
Make him play an honest game.
It's one thing he doesn't like.
I'm not saying that. I
Hello.
think she's happy with that. That's actually started to hold that hand. Actually,
Yeah, the wind almost feels like it's coming towards our face where we're sitting, which has been against the flow for most of this tournament. So it's been very interesting to see how this green's changing with not only time and weather, but wind as well. Ashley Close looks like a green Smurf over there.
if anyone looks cold, he does.
I feel like he heard me because he gave me a quick chuckle there, almost as if he went, "I'm listening."
Yeah, another man that's chosen shores.
He's got the AirPods in his ear. Now Max staring down the barrel, a couple down here. It's going to take a hell of a bowl to make an impact here. Oh, and
That's not one of the supporters, so that's good.
another first. We've got our first drenched supporter. It's like Niagara Falls unleashed. To be perfectly honest, that was something else. that was. I'm not sure if it was cold-blooded or made his blood cold.
Chris looking to draw in here.
It felt like a primary school prank when you just tip a bucket over the roof.
So Max looking for bowler Jack, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's what he's calling.
With both of them so close, you back in to hit one of them. So if he picks the gap perfectly clean,
It's the day for gaps.
Yeah,
Today. I was watching from game 1 today.
if he picks the gap, I'll drink my drink. No, that's the wrong gap.
Wrong gap. That's good. That's not yours.
That's good. I need to make this last the whole game. Simon Gator Johnson, the singles, ripped out every single one of the other bowls. Bar his two. That's a fantastic
Two
effort.
lone wolves sitting on there together in in that game.
That's
Tony Trelaw's got 2 of his own to come down. So the score, let's go through. The score of the triples is 8-2 to the Raiders after 6 ends.
The singles is 9-4 in favour of the Rogues.
And because the pairs is 8-5 in favour of the Raiders after 7 ends.
Which puts the total to 18-15 in favour of the Raiders. So still neither team able to break away from one another. And if that continues to be the overall trend, I think we're going to be in for
Laney McGorman starting up with an absolute cracker.
A fantastic bowl. And
great start.
In a game where the leads have had it a bit more difficult than the others, considering the weather and conditions, that's a fantastic start. And over on the other game, whilst I can't see the rink scores, the masterboard says 23-19 in favour of the Raiders over the Pirates. So.
Well, if you want to come down to the Salisbury Bowling Club, the hamburgers are about to go on.
So, I mean, if good bowls doesn't entice you, surely good food does. So. Yeah. And if both of them do, you got no excuse, really.
No excuse to come down. The rain stopped. There's plenty of seating now. That rain took care of it.
Yeah, that scared away at least 50 people, I reckon. Or
I reckon
at least 50 people indoors.
I reckon they've gone inside. That's a good response from Kate.
Yeah.
One in the area.
Yeah,
not letting Laney have it all her own way.
Yeah. 2 good shots on her own. The weight control has been fantastic from her. It's just a matter of mastering this line, which appears to be playing havoc for every bowler out there at the moment. So I'm not going to hold that purely against her.
Yeah, Lodgie's got a real big backswing wind up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It's very unorthodox compared to how sort of crisp and clean a lot of the other state players do it. But tell you what, it's effective. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
no go Lodge. Okay.
Leslie Slattery, Lodgy, those white bowls work. Yeah, they certainly do. They've been all over the jack so far today. Shows no sign of slowing down either.
Yep. Big backswing of Lodgy's. You wouldn't want to stand too close behind him, would you?
Yeah, I know. When in my junior days in the under 18s and under 25s, you'd have that cheeky moment when someone has a big backswing and you sneak behind them and grab the ball out their hand. I reckon you get a bloody nose if you do that with Lodgy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd risk that.
And if you do happen to have a grip of the bowl, he's strong enough, he'll bowl you along with it.
He might be resting touch, you reckon?
Time Merch trailing through here nicely and picks up this jack for a great shot. That's 2 shots to the Rogues now. That was a big bowl under pressure. We're looking at 1, possibly 2 down then. So couldn't come at a better time. Max Kleinagol smiles.
It's hard to read some people, but you look at Kate, she put a bomb in there, but don't know if that's enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think it's just I think it's calmness, if anything. You know, naturally it's a big event, and this is a big tournament or a big competition she's participating in. But I think composure is the real key to performing well in this. Relish amongst the big crowd and amongst all these incredible bowlers. And for the juniors, I think that's going to be the task asked most heavily of them. How well can you sort of rub shoulders alongside all these great players and still play your own game?
Yeah, that is interesting how a lot of different people handle, I guess, pressure or the way that they compose themselves going in onto the mat and they bowl. I guess if you've actually put the hard work in, then there shouldn't be any doubt. And Chris is, didn't feel like bowling over the advertising sign that blew across in front of him.
Yeah, I guess we've had our first pitch invasion.
Well, there it is. It happens to be one of their sponsors' logos. I'm not sure which one it is. But
I think they might be having a sponsorship talk later in the week.
Couldn't see your bowl getting over that sign, Chris.
Gives us a thumbs up. He knows. That's the face of a man that knows.
Chris Fable fairly accomplished in the Wombats team, the disability bowls.
Yeah, exactly right.
Had a reasonable amount of success in that.
I guess we're bowling over that sign would take him more back to crown bowls than anything, having to try and get over an incline.
Oh, that one would have been, absolutely.
So, I don't think there'd be many SA bowlers accustomed to that style of play. But
not
yeah.
Not over an obstacle like the signage.
But yeah, Chris, a tremendously accomplished player with the Wombats. And,
So taking a 3 on that one.
and I think he's been a national champion on numerous occasions too.
I have seen some posts on his Facebook of some gold. So that should take the score along to 8-5 after 7 ends.
So the Rogues fighting back, but still a lot of work to do in the triples.
So I think you'll find that Sol's starting to take a break away on Tony Treloar.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last week with his game against Simon Dorr, one of the most prolific players in South Australian history, I guess you could say, and shown he's got not only the competitiveness and drive to compete, but he's got more than his fair share of ability to match it with these guys as well. Is currently looking at the barrel 3 down, so we'll take a huge bowl here.
Just over in on the pairs, Brady Slater absolutely drew dead on the jack.
As I said, doesn't matter how many years this guy takes off the bowls, he comes back like he's only played yesterday.
Yep.
It's a truly remarkable ability. I wish I had that. Make
Ability?
Yeah, that too. It'd make that comeback from off-season so much more smoothly.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about off-seasons and breaks away from the game at my house. It probably wouldn't take the boss too long to take me up on that one.
Yeah, I did mine in 2 installments. I had 1 year where I just didn't take bowls seriously, and the second one I just didn't play state events. So 2 half seasons a piece, I think.
Kate, really getting the team away to a good start here again.
Great start, and not only Rogue support, but I think she's got a fair bit of Barossa support out there today. We saw Mike Teakle commenting in the only earlier.
The scores changed yet again to keep the production team on their toes.
Is that 9 or is that 4.5?
He can only see half a 9. It's 4.5.
4.5 to
Yeah,
5.
I think that's 9. Not sure where these scores are coming from, to be perfectly honest with you. They're bouncing around the place pretty much.
I think the power play is really starting to play havoc with people's maths.
Yeah. We'll make it up as we go along.
Oh, that's improv is something that we do best. And holding 1 for the Rogues. Di Murch looking to just tuck Jack away, you would think, and pointed it very well.
Yep.
Friendly rub, but beautiful weight, and regardless, that was always going to be a good shot.
Yep. It's an interesting little statistic I learnt, and it's Ben Harris of the Hyson Comets over there.
Yep.
The only player not to play today out of their whole squad.
There you go. And he's been here all day as well.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when Scott Tholborn makes his availability.
Well, if that's what you're going to get dropped for.
You make way for the world champion.
I did tell him that water always finds its true level.
It's like when Michael Jordan was 40 and Vince Carter stepped out of the All-Star game for him. So you make way for the greats, whether you're worthy or not. And Di Murch, 2 great shots there. The Rogues are set up, but with a head like that, I know I wouldn't be shying away from it. So I fully expect Lodgy to be up and about.
Lodgy's going to be there.
Playing the confident draw, as I like to call it. Going to be through regardless,
So he's
but
got the back end of that. He's out by about 6 inches.
tell you what, almost drew it cold. That was a fantastic effort. And that, I guess that goes to show the talent level. I would have elected to just smack it, but these guys are good enough they can draw that thing cold.
Yeah, well, I guess that one of the things maybe Chris doesn't want that head disturbed at the moment. He just want someone like Max Kleining to hop on the mat again. She can probably give him an open head to look at.
Yeah, give him space. He draws it. So keeping it tight is a smart move.
That's not to say that Chris can't do that either, but sometimes it's about who you're bowling against and what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, your percentages and whatnot.
Yeah, and trying to leave some sort of, is there a weakness there? Am I looking for that? But you know what? Max is on, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, Max isn't shy. And Max
And
picks it
plugged
up clean with a huge shot.
Well, I think we've worked out where the coach is. He's about 20 metres down, about 15 metres down from us, hiding behind that pole for shelter.
I saw him squatting trying to catch that out in the mid-off. So, yeah, fantastic bowl by Max Klein. A bit of room to draw a shot here for Chris Flavel, but the edge of these synthetics doesn't just slow down like a normal turf. So
Look at it. It just doesn't have any idea about how to slow down.
yeah, it never looked like slowing down, despite how beautiful the bowl itself looks.
Yeah, you would have got that bowl on any other surface. You would have come in and it would have sat right where you need to be. But
Yeah.
it just doesn't have the capacity to slow for that last 4 feet, I reckon.
Exactly right. I've found a few carpeted greens in my time. They pick up on that 6 foot line and they always seem to dip slightly downward.
Well, the interesting thing is wider drawing bowls will, as they come across, so narrower bowls keep the momentum moving forward where the bowl's coming in at that angle. One of the advantages of those wider swing bowls, you know, not to plug one particular brand over the other, but you know, you've got your Optimas in they have a bit of a wider arc in there. I'm sure there's a range in the Drakes and the Henselite of equal value. That's the sort of thing you're coming in from a wider hand.
Yeah, exactly right. And these guys all proficient in their respective brands of bowls, so naturally you look at him come down, you just go, hang on, he's played that too wide for his own, but on this surface they do different things to what they
Do those come with
normally
brakes? No brakes?
Chris Flavel indicating no handbrake on the bowl. The only handbrake being himself, I would imagine. He's played a bit less.
It's an interesting question, you know, you're talking about the head's dangerous, move the kitty around and so forth. The skipper gets on the mat and says, look, what's the most dangerous bowl out here? And my normal response is the one in your hand.
Especially if you're holding a number, you don't want to.
Exactly right.
You don't want to move Jack. Can be a double-edged sword. Naturally, you don't want to give your opposition skip 2 digs at the same cherry, but having said that, you don't want to go messing it up yourself because you can barely live with yourself from there.
I was actually fortunate to take part in a couple of 8 badges, and I was on the better side of them, thankfully. During the year.
I've been fortunate. I got 2 8s. One as a number 2, one as a skip where I had to draw the 8th. And tell you what, never had my hands shake more in my life.
Yeah, I must say I played against my old club at Lockleys and picked up one during the year with a skipping in the last bowler draw it in, which was well, it's actually funny. It wasn't until I actually let it go that I realised that I was actually trying to put an 8 in there. I tend not to need a lot of information. We're up or we're down is all I need to know. And just drew it in. As I followed down, I got, hang on a sec.
Hang on, that's a lot of us
There's a
around the
lot of us
jack.
And sometimes maybe that information's not needed.
Mike Teagle, where can you buy left-handed bowls from, TJ?
Well,
Put you on the burner.
I'll put them straight on the burner, left-handed bowls. Well, look, I've got a set of them. They are about $900. I'll sell them to you.
Yeah, it's, they don't profess to do any better than right-handed bowls.
Matter of fact,
I've heard Henselite releasing a range of ambidextrous bowls they can use by anyone. That remains to be a rumour, but we'll see if time prevails.
yeah, the can of compression and the stripe paint, same category.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Laney McGorman and Kate Argent-Bowden really just trading shots off at this point, toucher for toucher. So while we ramble on tangents, they're playing some serious bowls out there.
Well, you know, the good thing about the commentary is you can always turn the sound off,
Yeah, this is true.
which I'm sure that there's about 69 people doing that at the moment.
Yeah, exactly right. Jeff Langley, hi from Wakery. So that's Jeff clearly at the Stan Burnett Day, which I would normally be at, winning a bag of oranges. It's Max Kleinig signals to me in a way I can't describe.
I think he's saying he's holding one.
No, he's two. He's 2 down.
He's 2 down, so we won't look at that signal.
So yeah, good afternoon to you, Jeff, and I'm sure you got a few Newry guys around you watching on the phone. And yeah, shame I couldn't be winning some oranges today, but naturally not going to say no to rinkside seats for the Super League. Di Murch played this
Real
very
close.
well.
That's real
Terrific
close.
weight.
That's a great
Beautiful
bowl.
shot. That's a fantastic bowl.
And of course, I reckon she's got the tee covered.
First bowl on the tee.
Yep.
It doesn't get any better than that, really.
Lucas, how are you? Good, mate. A fleeting visit to the commentary box by Tony Lucas.
Yeah.
The Eastern Raiders as he flew through the commentary box.
Not sure what words of wisdom they were, but there were words of wisdom. That's all.
Well, I was inspired.
Exactly. so was I.
Well, the live feed's been interrupted.
Might be a weather issue. Not
No, we're
entirely
back.
sure.
Oh,
We're back.
We're back.
And Michael Lodge almost rattled shot bowl to claim it for his own, but unfortunately just side cuts it.
The
But,
Rogues are actually holding shot there.
So, the Rogues holding a 10-1, not due to any lack of effort by the Raiders. That was a fantastic couple of bowls there by both Dyer and Michael. And if anyone's interested, on the other green, we have the Central Chargers 29 leading the Malay Pirates 23. As said, due to coaches and players and officials, individual scoreboards are increasingly difficult to see, so the masterboard's as good as we
I
can.
would say it's actually impossible.
Yeah,
It's that's actually Jared Goodwin. One
every
of your teammates are
yeah.
right in the way.
actually every single scoreboard on that side is being stood in front of by a player or an official, besides the masterboard.
Yep.
So we can only give you the overall, and fortunately, it's the only overall that counts.
Yep.
And going back to the local game, the Pairs is an 8-5 lead in favour of the Raiders.
The singles is, well, we know that Sol's holding the game. There he's, I think it's about 6-14.
Plugs his own bowl. Sol's currently on 14. Unfortunately, the marker's in front of the other side of the
It's actually
score.
Steve Grant. There we go, 4-14.
4-14. So Sol's really taken well and true control of that. And I've always found I've always felt the singles would be your game breaker in many aspects if you get a guy that's really on, and especially with the singles doesn't have an extra teammate to cover them or whatnot. You can really build out big margins on that.
So I think Chris is pretty happy with that bowl. He's drawn shot up there while we're going across the boards.
So the Raiders just continue to keep plugging away. They're not extending their lead by much, but they're just doing it consistently, and the Rogues have a bit of catching up to do on that regard.
Yep. Now it's 10. 10-6. So I think the way we're working the score out there, we're trying to explain how the scoring works to the production team. A non-bowler, I think when you get a shot, I don't know, you must have some sort of scientific formula because... Yeah. He says, okay, TJ, really? After 7 hours, now's the time to explain it to me?
Actually, I'm trying to find a replacement sport to try and. I think curling or beanbagging.
Beanbagging.
I've seen that on ESPN once or twice.
Just summer curling, right?
Yeah, basically summer curling. Yeah. Except you can move where the white balls, rather than have a fixed target, you can move the fixed target.
No men in Australia know how to use a broom.
We'll omit that comment.
Yeah, we'll leave that one straight out. Yeah.
Here, I thought it was going to be me making the controversial calls.
Yeah, it's actually the production team. God love them.
Yeah, no one else does. And Kate Argent, first bowl not too far away, but this one, a great correction, just slightly behind. Very good position. That's a great shot.
She's representing herself and obviously her team really well.
Yeah, making her debut. Didn't play in the first game and didn't play Friday night either. So finally getting that opportunity to don the green and light green.
But it's interesting, with the Raiders. And I'm going to probably point at the elephant in the room here. There has been 2 players from the Raiders, I can tell you wholeheartedly, that have not made their debut.
Yeah, I forget which ones they are.
It's Chris Tholborn.
there we go.
and the coach, Steve Grant, who
Of course.
infamously picked himself
Yeah, that's right.
in the draft.
I think Steve's waiting for his singles debut, perhaps.
Well,
Seeing how the other teams.
As you know, we know he's going to make his debut somewhere along there, but I've really got to take my hat off to him. He's been patient. He's demonstrated as a coach. He's pulled his players on the field before himself.
I think electing you, being the coach and electing yourself as a player as well, naturally that could draw criticism if you're picking yourself first. So he's clearly playing it smart, picking his players as best as he can for not only strength and the what the format requires, but also in positions where they can do best and giving himself where he sees fit.
Yeah, look, I could joke and say maybe he didn't realise when he picked himself that there was a 2-hour time limit.
Steve, if you're listening, don't.
Steve, if you're listening, that was the production team. Look, good on him. I'm sure there has been a couple of other admissions throughout, and I haven't seen a couple of those. Brianna Johnson.
Yeah, interestingly, I've heard she's having bowls off completely for a year.
Well, so she got picked and then has decided not to play, and I don't know the truth in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the whole story. I've heard taking a complete hiatus from bowls altogether. So, if anyone knows any more on that story, we're happy to be corrected or the amendments
happy to be
made.
wrong and corrected with the right information.
Yeah,
that makes us all brighter.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only problem with rumours. They're only as strong as the person that tells you.
I'm feeling pretty strong.
Nah.
So Matt's looking to consolidate.
Yeah, just pulling up a bit short. So it does seem to be holding that trend of getting slower as it gets colder. Max appears to be having issue just keeping his hands warm, let alone finding the weight adjustment. Can confirm it is freezing out here. There's a lot of people looking like Gru from Despicable Me with all their necks completely hidden in their jackets and whatnot.
Well, he's definitely made a good correction here.
Yeah, he's done this very well. Just has to land on the blue, and he does that perfectly. A fantastic shot from Max.
Yeah. Oh, we got a smile out of the big fella.
And a thumbs up from Maxi. So
smile and a thumbs up.
the big show starting to hit his straps at last, perhaps.
Hey, Di, how you going?
Oh, well, thanks.
Di, how are you? Now, we are absolutely freezing here.
Yeah.
What's it like out there? Is it actually breaking your concentration?
No, it's actually not too bad at the moment.
Yep.
No, we've, I think because we're concentrating and we're sort of moving around a bit and whatever, not feeling it as much as you guys here.
Yeah, I feel that might be the case. Once you immerse yourself in the game and get focused, all other things just they just go by the wayside.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So Di, look, Kate, one of our junior under-18 players, getting you guys off to a good lead. You're putting some absolute great pills in there yourself. So is Max the weak link?
No, I'm not going to say that.
I'll say it for him.
No, we're just hanging in there at the moment. So we've got and she's got us off to another good start there.
Yep.
So that's really good.
Yeah, look, it's been a cracking game.
Yeah. So I've just got to get my weight myself. So
you're bowling well. I don't think there's too much you have to change there.
Yeah, I certainly couldn't do any better out there. So I tip my hat to you, even though I'm not wearing one.
I can tell you now,
Thank
Di,
you.
that we've never put a bad bowl down.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it always is. Good on you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Di.
Cheers.
That was Di Merch joining us as a super sub.
And Di's from Bordertown.
Yeah, so good to see a lot of country players really embracing this, not just as players, but as a result of their participation, just the communities and everything is getting involved as well, and really embracing a great concept, and it gives it a great potential to grow for not only this season, but we're looking into season 2 of Super League and everything else. So
what's interesting, you got when you're looking at bowls in South Australia across the different leagues, associations, I guess, that very insular.
Yep.
They do you do get together in the country carnivals and the championships and so forth. probably removed from the Metro Bowls
Yeah.
somewhat until you get the what is it, the
Champions Week.
Champions Week. But this concept brings everyone into one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think that's one of
I
the
think we might have put Ty off there.
quite possibly her probably the first bad bowl she's played for the day.
Absolutely.
I don't know if she's starstruck or just trying to code the memory out a bit of having to put up with this. But no, I think that's one of the great things of this. It's put, you know, hundreds and thousands together, and you know, people that wouldn't ordinarily be teammates are doing just that, and that can only be great for, you know, not only bowls in the country and Metro, but, you know, for people that get state selections later on in their careers, and, you know, that extra familiarity is only an added bonus.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. You look across I guess a lot of people playing sport, whether it's cricket, football, netball, soccer, whatever that sport is. Fast forward 20 years and you see those people in the street. Now, I don't know, there's people that you played footy with or whatever else. You probably just give them a wave to and keep walking. Cricket may be a little bit different, you talk to them. But, you know, bowls, and you're sitting there, it doesn't matter if you've played against them, with them, whatever else. They're always keen to sit there and have a chat and have a catch-up.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been one of those, I guess, experiences for me in my bowls journey about how tight really that bowls community is.
Yeah, I can vouch for it completely. Having been removed from my first club near Itpa in the Barossa Valley for now going on my 9th year, I still go back every now and again, and, you know, I'm open with welcome arms and probably 3 or 4 people going, "When are you coming back?" And, yeah, it's no matter where you go on bowls, where you're from is always going to be a huge factor to each and every player. And I think that's even more emphasised in country bowls because, you know, the people that play footy, they play cricket together, and when they're toured for cricket, they play bowls together. And you know, in country communities, always get behind each
Just
other.
quickly, Max is not a distance away from that.
That was a very fair effort by Max Cluny. Just sailed through a little bit, but hell, you wouldn't think he's going to be far away with the next, that's for sure.
Of course, formidable skipper against him, Chris Flavel.
And
I reckon maybe pulling up just a fraction shorter than he needs to be.
yeah, it was came out the hand delightfully smooth.
He does. He actually does have a really good smooth action, Chris. It's not too many get away rough.
If you've ever watched his father Rob play, they almost have an identical delivery. And yeah, both get him out very smooth, and you can see why Rob has won the state singles, and Chris has become, you know, a great bowler with the Wombats, and now that Payneham are in Prem 1 for their second year now, has been a consistent threat in that top division.
Is it possible to get a score update, Hilly's game, please? No. Would be the quick answer on that one, I'm afraid. We will try our very best, but there is like about 8 people around that board, and it's like the world's best kept secret from us.
Yeah, no one's moving from the scoreboard, so it's actually impossible to tell. We can say that the Pirates have finally hit the lead. It's now 33-32. The Malay Pirates leading over the Central Chargers, so an incredibly tight game over there.
Please write down the single score. Okay. The single score.
The singles score, that's 15 for Simon Gator Johnson. Unfortunately, everyone's walking in front of that scoreboard as well. So
We'll try our very best.
we'll do what we can.
As I said on Wednesday, in the show, main focus is the rink that we're actually televising. We'll try our very best. We really appreciate you asking, but we'll. I reckon it's 15-5.
Unfortunately, we can't control all the players, or we'd have the easiest job in the world.
There you go. I've just put it up there. 15-5 to Seoul after 16 ends.
So Seoul is for the Western Rogues, for those unfamiliar.
It's interesting, you know, that people saying that they can't hear the commentary and haven't had that feedback yet. So
Yeah,
not sure what's going on there.
I did hear the wind was having a bit of issue. Maybe we're just not holding the mics close enough or
Beryl,
talking
not
loud.
a problem. Anytime. Happy to
So,
help.
Yeah, any criticism we can have to improve this commentary that we're giving is only going to, you know, improve your listening experience. So
Or watching.
yeah, and watching. So whatever you can do to help, we'll do to try and solve for you.
I can tell you what, this triple game's really tightening up now. 10-9 on 12. It is the Raiders' way, but one shot in it.
Yeah, the Rogues finally starting to hit their straps a bit. As Dyer was saying, it was only a matter of time. Max Kleinig's always going to be the building block for the rest of the team and able to bail them out of trouble. But Kate and Dyer really playing some terrific bowls and against more than formidable opposition. So they're doing incredibly well. Kate in particular, being the junior of the mix, is playing some great shots.
Not look phased at all.
No, not at all. I think every junior been on the live stream so far has actually performed far and above my expectations, and I had pretty lofty ones.
Of course, look, at the cessation of this end, there's going to be a change to the commentary. I'm actually getting dragged. I'm straight out, mate. We're going to bring Nico back in.
Yeah,
mate. The Middleton, Nico for mayor.
The mayor of Middleton. So we've heard. We're
going to have about 40-minute plug. I can assure you. We'll try and get him into power. We'll see if we can't. Running great on Facebook. Cheers, Craig Lucy. Well done.
So yeah, it'd be So I'm sure a lot of people miss your absence, TJ. But I'm sure Miko is clearly the mayor for a reason. So
that's interesting.
Why we're getting him back.
You get to the ground at 9 o'clock this morning. And interesting. I've got to go from here to a bowls meeting. Funny enough, so it doesn't stop.
No off season for some.
The funny thing is this one will feed me. Not the main reason for going to it. We got over there. Craig Mills running as fast as he can. Obviously feeling a little bit better than he did in his first game.
I think the Barocca was finally kicked in, perhaps.
Oh, it wasn't Barocca he was drinking.
Who was that? He's a Crow supporter. It was probably Chardonnay.
Oh, yeah, Chardonnay. Yeah, the old Chardonnay crew.
Carly Mitchell looks colder now.
Carly, I assure you it is very much colder now.
Oh, yes. I'm by no means a thermometer, but I would have to say it's dipped under 10 now.
So,
a good bowl there by Di Merch, just fails to get inside what she was hopefully going for. Still, give something.
Concentration on the face of Michael Lodge.
And he sent it well. It's going to be problematic for the Rogues regardless, I think.
He's around it. He's around the mark.
He's played a great shot here. That's fantastic. Another one behind. Really just paints the picture for Max Kleinig. You got to play a perfect bowl here.
See the coaching team, father, son. I'd almost say the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You nearly fly on, but they're looking intent onto the singles and the pairs game behind. And
yeah, probably offering a bit of expertise and Sol's paying no attention because the scoreboard's indicating he's doing that enough. Sue Cultus, how's the lighting under the dome? It's actually, the darker it gets, the better it gets. Naturally, with sunlight and the lights, the natural sunlight's probably going to outpower it, but now that it's darkened a little bit with the rain and whatnot, it's improved and looks fantastic.
Yep.
Carly Mitchell, I gave up. Not surprised. It's by no means pleasant out here, but we do it for the love of the game.
And our thoughts go out to Carly Mitchell. Unfortunately, lost her father during the week. So, Carly, thoughts out to you.
Absolutely.
Don Bennett, you're being nice, Stu. It's forced to.
There's good reason why I'm being nice.
Freezing in Rusty. It's freezing in Moonta. Okay.
I'll save the adults only humour for the radio show once the season's on.
So Max getting a bit of final instruction before he sends his last one in.
Yeah, his first bowl was a tremendous effort.
Just quickly before I hand over, after 13 ends, 10-12 in favour of the Rogues, and 9-2. I can't see because Michael Lodge is away.
The singles is 15-9, so
in favour of Sol.
Yeah, so Tony Treloar making a little fight back, but Sol continues to just plod along and keep at his own pace.
Yep.
Naturally, doesn't want it to get too close. You know, singles games can get pressure packed in the late stages when it's close. So he'll be by no means
Chris
taking it
is
easy.
Definitely not happy with that one, I can assure you. All right, well, I'll hand over to Nico for Mayor,
Not a problem.
the Millington Magic Man.
Thanks very much to TJ for your services today on behalf of not only me but Bowls SA as a company. And TJ will be back Friday night with me as we go through the Twilight games. Then we welcome Miko to the board. Pleasure to have you on song.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, I heard your popularity was overwhelming. We couldn't help but get you back.
Oh, look, I don't know how that happened, but it did.
Well, they've got you running for council anyway, at the very least. So,
Well, yes, exactly. Yes.
so now clearly with a man of your expertise, both games very close. Have you formulated who you think is going to make a break for the victory, or are you going to keep it unbiased at this
I'm
stage?
going to stay neutral at this stage.
Stay neutral, not a
Yes,
problem.
what about yourself? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, the Rogues have got their noses in front at the moment. I think that's only going to increase as the game goes on. I think this triples is going to remain tight regardless, but
Yep.
I think the other two rinks, the overall strength of the Rogues is just going to find its way to the top.
Exactly, yeah. I think Simon's up by enough to possibly carry him through.
Yeah, exactly
If
right.
that,
And
with the margin between them.
yeah, and he's got a couple ends to go, so
Exactly.
pick
yeah.
up a 2 or a 3, it sort of might even solidify it.
Exactly,
that-
like numbers all help.
Exactly right. And as numbers help, Kate Argent Bowden plays a fantastic shot picking up the kitty.
I can't believe how good she is at such a young age.
I've-
It's really amazing.
Funnily enough, when I was her age, I was bowling against her mum and dad.
Were you?
So I've while I've not, this is the first time I've seen Kate play, but I've played against her parents for many a year, and I know where the talent's coming from. Both of them are champions in their own regard.
Well, she's definitely.
So
She can definitely bowl.
She-
let me tell you.
She's inherited good genes. And as we say hello to another teammate of mine, Phil Fechner, formerly Nuruyutpa, now Salisbury Bowling Club. Thanks for tuning in. Kelly Pauls, thanks for watching. And Don Bennett has Sol changed shorts. No, I think he just pulled him up a bit.
But I think he's definitely got his wife's shoes on. He's got his pink shoes on again. So I think they're his wife's shoes.
I like they're TV shoes. I reckon you
look,
want to stand out from the
Most
crowd
definitely.
when the camera's on. Now, as the jack's hidden from us, it's Chris Flavel calling Michael Lodge to play through his own bowls. So holding 2 as it is. Michael Teakle, Kate's definitely got a bright future. I could not agree more. She's performed admirably today, and from when I was commentating with Mike, with Grace and Stephanie, the conditions have only gotten more difficult. So this is only just a good example of what she can do.
Exactly. On a good weather day, I reckon she would be very good.
Oh, exactly.
Like, not that she's not good now, but it would just enhance.
Yeah.
I think.
All the little bowls and 1%ers that you would normally get on a picture perfect day,
Exactly.
they'd be eliminated. She'd be playing top flight bowls.
Yep, most
Nah,
definitely.
Exactly understand what you're saying. Dire Merch unfortunately sails through the ditch, but was required to play a bit of weight then. So both teams, neither team's giving much away.
No, they're not, are they?
Yeah, makes it difficult for us to ramble on about, but
Well, exactly. it
Lodgy
does.
drawing to the ditch, if he's got the ability to hold up,
And I reckon he'll just stop.
tell you what,
in.
he's almost got it. That was a fantastic
That
effort.
was a great effort.
I reckon another 5 inches he would have nailed it perfectly on the lip. Dom. I do that with a jack roll. So Max Kleinigan just informing me that I'm notorious for a running shot and running in the ditch. I don't know where his sources come from.
What do you think Max will be trying to do here?
Well, with the way it's positioned, he's definitely got to get to the six metre mark.
Yep.
He's staring the barrel 3 down. If you can't get the shot, you reduce the damage. And tell you what, if he can stop, he's done it well.
He's tried. It's a good effort.
Just sails through. Unfortunately, the camera angle can't capture it because it's so far down and
Exactly.
makes it impossible regardless. But there is one bowl in the ditch plus 2 on the 6 foot mark.
There is, yes.
So we'll try and paint the picture as well as we can. However, my picture painting abilities are like that of Ken Doan, I would say.
Oh, look,
They're absolutely
I'm the same. I'm no Picasso, I can tell you.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very bad picture. Still, Max Kleinigan unfortunately lets this one go short.
And he's not happy?
No, he's not happy. 3 down, gives Chris Flavor all the room for a 4th. That's not what they need right now.
Well, exactly. That's going to give them a bit of a bigger lead,
Yeah.
which they wouldn't be wanting at this point in time.
Precisely, and with only 2 ends or 1 end left in the singles after this, and a power play being played.
And I reckon he's just going to stay up 1.
The
Rogue's got 1.
Oh, there we go. 1 to the Rogue. So that was actually Di Merch's bowl in the ditch.
Well,
without being able to see the sticker, was impossible to say. So
we had no idea who had that.
we led everyone astray on that one.
Exactly.
So we apologise for that.
Oh, definitely.
But I think it made for more drama.
It did. No, most definitely.
And as they say, headlines sell papers.
Exactly.
So one for the Rogues. And one that they so desperately needed, because the Raiders certainly looking like they'll pull away. Stu draws like Ken don't. I can't actually finish that sentence. I want to be commentating next Friday, thanks, Mike. So cheers for your input.
Yes, yeah, no, we'll leave that one alone.
Put it this way, I draw birds like the letter M. Meanwhile, there's a bit of pandemonium on the other green as what looks like Mark Haynes has completely ripped out multiple bowls for the Chargers against the Pirates. The game over there, still only 3 shots. It's 38 to the Chargers, leading the Pirates 36, sorry, if my eyesight serves me well. I'm not sure if it's...
You're doing better than me because I can't actually see that far.
I'm not sure... I can guarantee the Chargers are on 38. The Pirates are 35-36. I can't quite read it. 36. So a 2-shot margin. It's not dipped over 4 shots the entire game. So
no, exactly. Like the games today have been very close overall.
Yeah,
all of them have.
Exactly right. And, well, I mean, for the people watching live here that have braved the weather, that's only going to be great for them because. Nothing. I mean, for the bowls lover, nothing beats the atmosphere than
exactly
on the edge of your seat in tight games.
The standard of bowls today, like I said earlier, have just been amazing.
Exactly right.
I don't think you can get any better.
Under these conditions, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Indoor, naturally, you can play the perfect game if you're good enough. But this is the weather and everything's not made this by any means easy. So. I'll take my hat off to them.
Yep.
I think they're playing extremely well.
I'm glad it's them and not me out there.
Absolutely. Definitely more comfortable sitting down with a microphone in my hand than bowling.
Yep, no, definitely.
Michael Lodge looking to draw. Plenty of room for him.
How's he looking?
What I can only say is 2 shots to the Rogues. No longer. One shot. One to the Raiders at least. So that fantastic shot there by Michael Lodge on his first bowl. So
Di's got the ability though to change this, and I reckon she could.
She's following it down with a bit of weight, so naturally not going to be shy away from it. Any contact's going to be good here.
And she likes it.
That's a fantastic shot.
That is a great bowl, Di.
And all the Rogue supporters on the edge of the green are cheering loudly, so the crowd's really getting involved.
Exactly.
This is exactly what we want.
Like
But,
you've got all the road supporters back there behind the singles, and you know they're all waving.
Actually-
G'day, Corey. How are you?
Given they're all huddled to there in their green jackets, we could call them gangrene.
Yeah, yes, they have. It does look like they have got gangrene. Yes, yes. No, we'll say that.
As long as they don't listen, as long as they
Oh,
don't hear
look,
it, we can get
look,
away with that, I
Look,
reckon.
I'm pretty sure they'll know.
But no, fantastic shot by Dire Merch. Max Klonig looked very happy that he didn't have
Yes,
to play the shot
no.
himself.
Max looks quite relaxed at the moment.
How are you boys feeling out there?
How you feeling?
Cold.
Cold.
Cold is the
Cold was the only response that we got.
Peter Rost, Anguston Weather Stew. Actually, Anguston does get formidably cold in the
Oh, does
Barossa.
it? Yep.
It's basically at the bottom of a mountain range, so it does get colder than the rest of the Barossa. So know exactly what he's coming from.
Now, Max, I don't think this is looking too bad.
He's played a great shot here.
This is a
Any
great
touch.
bowl, Max. And he'll just sit up there. No, he's going to fall in.
I'll tell you what. If Geelong kick goals like that, Max will be playing for them.
Exactly.
That was an incredible ball. Really, it deserved something.
Oh, it deserved something. Yeah, definitely. Deserved more than what it got.
I'll tell you what. If Max picks that same gap again, I'll buy him a drink. So let's see if I've motivated him the right way.
And look at the smile on his face here.
Yeah, I think you heard it. And that ball by Chris Flavel, that really forces Max onto just the dead draw now. You can't afford Jack to move.
No, definitely not.
At the same time, you can't afford to play it much shorter than what he did. So
No, he's not happy.
in case the mic picked it up, did say that he didn't get out wide enough for the straightener to
Yep.
take hold. So
His weight would have been all right, though.
weight was perfect from what I can see. A great weight. Unfortunately, that's not the desired result. And as he said, he was, knew the line he had to take, just couldn't quite put it
Couldn't
in
find it.
Yeah,
Yep.
when Method came into practice. So Chris Flavel sending another,
This is looking good.
gets a little splinter of the jack. Not that it
Yeah.
makes any impact. He's drawn what appears to be a third. Definitely two. They're looking at the third. And as Logie gets the tape out, we can only assume that we can only debate what's going on. Going rinkside in the pairs, we have a 13-all draw on the second to last end. So Brady Slater and Jaden Zeller, that's against Carl Shapel and Mitch Percy, not in that order. The singles is Simon Gator Johnson on 17 to, unfortunately the mark is in the way, so I can't see that, but Sol's still in the lead.
He is.
And over on the other side of the green, the Chargers and Pirates game, the Chargers have actually hit a more convincing lead. It was 43-38 last time I looked. So the Chargers starting to take control of that game, but still, it's not
That can change within a blink of an eye, though.
exactly right. Nothing. I mean, as all things are with bowls, nothing's guaranteed, and only
No.
only 5 shots. You can pick up a 6 in the triples, and it's all gone.
Exactly. Yep.
So
Sol likes this one.
uh,
No, he's 2 down. Look at that.
yeah, Shadow picked up Jack, killed it. So I'm not sure how they're going on the respot. As Laney McGorman leads off very well with the first one. That's a very strong start.
Yes, no, that is very good.
I must say, it's probably the trickiest game I've looked at so far, and both leaders are playing very well under the conditions. Kate Argent just a metre short there, but the line was perfect
Her line
again.
was
So
beautiful. Yeah,
I-
definitely.
I feel like the line's probably the trickiest thing to get on this stuff. So if you can get that, it's only a matter of time before you find the weight.
No, definitely.
So fully expect a nice correction there. She knows to be through. All the juniors have that stuff drilled into them almost.
Exactly, yeah. From a young age with all the specialist coaches that they would have.
Exactly, and Laney McGorman with another great second shot, holding 2 there, lands her own first bowl. You don't need to make a correction when you play a first one that good.
Oh, no, definitely not.
And Kate's giving it more weight. Let's see how she goes. pumps her own bowl
Pumps
up,
her,
but
yep, and got the.
does appear to had just enough roll to get in for shot there. Chris Flavel signalling down. Although it didn't seem to be a definitive one, so it might be too close to call.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the Rogues are tentatively in the hot seat so far.
And like you said before, I don't think they can. Well, they can lose it from here, but I think they've got enough.
It's a 10-shot overall.
Yeah.
The singles has clearly been the make or break game.
Yep.
Even though the pairs did just get a 4 in favour of the Raiders, so it's not guaranteed, but they would be favourites at this stage, I would say.
Definitely, yep. And that's what they'd be wanting after their loss earlier today.
Yeah, exactly right. They need to bounce back on a very narrow loss, and Di Murch with a fantastic shot here.
Di's done an absolute ripper.
That's a brilliant one. The interview early didn't phase her one bit, it seems. She's found her straps once again. Really puts Michael Lodge. That was all the Rogues were really lacking then, was just another bowl in the head.
Exactly, yep.
You know, it was looking 1 against 3. That can look really bad in a matter of no time.
And the atmosphere today has been really good.
It has, and a day that was forecast to be horrible weather-wise, I think the turnout's been fantastic.
Exactly.
So
yep.
I think it's a great. Well, every now and again, every once in a while, you see a bowl that just takes the words out your mouth, and I think that was one of them. A huge bowl there by Chris Flavel for 2 shots. Picked up the jack perfectly clean, slotted it between his own 2 teammates' bowls. Really puts a bit of pressure on Max Klein. He's got no choice but to play a bit aggressive.
From what I can see, the singles have finished.
Yeah, so appears to be 17-12 the final margin. So 5-shot win to Simon Gator-Johnson and the Rogues.
Yeah, no, the Raiders made a good comeback in that one.
Yeah, it was looking very grim early for them. So
it was,
that's
most definitely.
So not the result that Tony Treloar would have been expecting, but having said that, he fought back to make it respectable and at least put his team in a good position to come back and win. And in saying that, the margin is now 1 shot.
One overall.
Yeah, 1 overall. The Rogues 42, the Raiders 41. So it's all for young and old now. Max Klein coming to assess the head. Naturally, they could.
Come on.
Is that as honest as I can be?
Now we're blessed to have Tony Treloar with us from the Eastern Raiders. Thanks for joining us today. Just coming off the singles, a bit of a tough loss, but you had a good fight back in that second half.
Thoroughly enjoyed the game, Simon. I've played him once before. We have good duels. I was happy with the way I bowled, but Simon was just a little bit too consistent. So, yeah, very happy.
Yeah.
Did you have any tactics going into today's game against Simon?
You've just got to bowl close. There's no tactics realistically when you're bowling against these type of fellas. So you just be there to do your best.
When he got onto a bit of a jump start, I think he hit the lead by as many as 12 shots. What goes through your mind in that position, you know, to overcome an adversity like that and really just build back the deficit so your team's in a better position?
Actually, I thought my bowling wasn't that bad to be so far down, but I just had to be consistent and just keep plugging away, and you just never know what's going to happen. And as it turned out, I got a couple of threes and made it more respectable, actually, and now the team's in with a chance. So I'm happy in that sense.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, yeah. As you said, you were bowling well from what we could see. It was just Simon just had that gift of the gab almost, just always just finding a way to steal shot away from you whenever in a tight spot.
Yeah, Simon, no, he's a very good bowler. He's in the state development squad and he's earned that right. So he's a very good player.
As a holdie guy, looking forward to playing with him this season in Pennant. So yeah, from what everyone's told me about him, it's only going to be a very exciting season for the whole Fast Bay boys.
He's just so consistent. He's always around the mark. I don't think he had a really bad bowl, so that's what you have to have. So no, he's a good and he's a good fella too, which makes it even better.
Absolutely. Now, very close overall. So your comebacks really put the team in a good spot. So you think the guys can get over the line in spite of your heroics, or
we were one shot down a minute ago, so I don't know what's happened in the meantime, but we're certainly in with a chance, and that's what it's all about. And it's all good fun.
Beautiful. Well, Tony Treloar, thanks for your time. Thanks for being the super sub.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. That was Tony Treloar. Just come off the singles. Now, a man
We
that's
got-
a man that's no stranger to talking to us is Sol Simon Gator Johnson. Thanks for joining us.
No worries, gentlemen. How are you?
Not too bad. Now, your second singles Guernsey, and you've come away with a win after a draw in the first. What's it feel like?
That feels good. Yeah, Tony's a real gentleman. So no, it was. It's probably a bit closer than what it actually was. So no, I was happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying earlier, you just got the jump on him. He felt confident the way he was bowling, but he just said every time he was in a good position, you just found a way to dig yourself out of trouble.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing in singles. You got to back yourself. So no, I felt pretty confident today. I needed a win because the others don't really want to play with me just yet. So I
must
get
say-
stuck in singles by myself. I'm not sure what's wrong.
I can say once pennant season starts, we do.
Now, Simon, does Michelle, your wife, know that you're wearing her shoes today
It's a good one, Nick.
with the pink shoes?
They're called Desert. So no, great hence light shoe they are.
I suppose being in a country region that's not had a bit of rain recently, desert's probably appropriate, but at least you're getting some now.
Hopefully it's raining at home. Yeah, we got. We had a really good drop on Thursday night. So that was sorry. Just. Ooh. We had a really good drop Thursday, so that was really good. So if it's raining at home again now, even better. Yeah.
Fantastic. And as Simon said, Michael Lodge from the Raiders played an absolute horn there. Was looking 2 down and just sat the bowl off completely.
One shot, isn't it?
You joke that no one wants to play with you on the Rogues. If you couldn't play singles, who would you like to team up with and why? Obviously within the Rogues, what discipline and who would your teammates be?
That's a tough one on the spot. Wow.
I know who I would like to see you play with.
Okay, no, it'd be good to play with another country boy, obviously. We play together a fair bit. Marty Maloney, the candy man. Playing with any of the boys would be great, and obviously the likes of Max. I've still got a lot to learn, so no, I'd be pretty happy to bowl for Max. It'd be good, yeah.
Well, hopefully Dash has heard these words and takes them into consideration for selection night.
That's it.
Well, we've got a couple ends left. Anyone at home you want to say hello to? I'm sure the family are all tuning in once more.
I guess I'll say g'day to all the Arthurton, if any Arthurton bowlers are tuned in. G'day to them, and obviously the wife and daughter at home probably watching. So hopefully they're tuning in. Yeah.
Well,
hopefully we get up.
What
is it?
Unfortunately, the Raiders have jumped to a 7-shot lead.
That's not what you wanted.
Yeah, so 8-shot turnaround with this interview. So maybe we have to cut it short.
Yes.
Maybe we'll cut it short just and hope your team gets up.
Thanks for stopping by, Simon.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for being the super sub once more. Fan favourite Simon Gator Johnson of formerly Arthurton, now Holdfast Bay Bowling Club. Absolute legend bloke. Having only met him a couple of times now, absolute legend of a guy, and looking.
I've known him since 2005.
Oh, there you go.
And he is one of the nicest blokes, genuine blokes that you'll ever come across.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly goes. You see it in his bowling, Last week he was, high-fiving his own opposition in a singles game. You don't see that very often.
No.
Usually the singles is very cutthroat, and it's good to see that kind of camaraderie and competitiveness.
Exactly. He would have had to make the tough decision to leave, like Arthurton, the club that he loves, to come down here, and that wouldn't have been easy for him to do.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, he was saying last week his son still plays at Arthurton, and naturally the family are all there. So,
yep.
I know Club Holdfast going to really appreciate his efforts for not only travelling but for what he can produce on the green as well.
Well, exactly.
And as we've seen in the Super League so far, he's not disappointed. So, a lot of talent there.
No, he's definitely showing what he can do so far.
And, as it stands, not looking good for the Rogues now. Simon looks to be the only win for them at this stage, as the pairs have dropped a bundle in recent ends. Mitch Percy and Carl Shaper playing some huge ends to get some numbers off off Brady Slater and Jaden Zeller. The triples remains to be the game to watch, though. 2 shots on the penultimate end, so.
And that's in favour of the Raiders.
Yeah, and
from what I can see.
And from going by the scoreboard, there is a power play sign on there, so let's see how
It'll be interesting to see what Max does here.
Yeah, that might factor in heavily into what he's going to play.
He looks pretty confident in what he's going to do, though.
He's a very confident a man with his ability. There'd be no reason not to have confidence. He's an absolute machine of a guy on his day. I've felt the wrath of it firsthand myself. I'd rather be his teammate than his opponent, put it that way.
Well, exactly. Anybody that's represented the country at national level, can obviously bowl.
Exactly right. He sent it well, and he gets the jack forwards now. This is an interesting one.
They've got one.
They've got one, so he's actually converted. That's a huge bowl. I don't think many were expecting Jack to come forward then.
No, exactly.
However, it does happen. So
exactly. I think he look at the smile on his face there. He's pretty happy with himself.
I think 90% of that's relief.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But having said that, he played a great shot and deserved to at least get a good result. So that leads us, the Rogues now one down, I think.
One down in the triples and overall.
Going into the last end of the triples, so 13 to 14. So it's going to be
tight overall.
It's going to be a great last game of this match. Unfortunately, due to the pairs game, does look to be out of reach for the Rogues. So I think the Raiders have secured the win on this one.
Yes, no, I think that they have.
So my prediction of them only getting better turned out to be proved wrong.
Kate's got the weight right here.
Meanwhile, on the other green, it is now 48 for the Central Chargers over the Malay Pirates 40. So the Chargers just slowly creeping away with only a handful of ends themselves. So both games incredibly close, but I think the winners are going to start to emerge now, and I think with this game that we have in front of us, that's already happened.
Yes, I think the Raiders are up by enough now, because there doesn't seem to be many ends to go.
And Kate Argent-Bowden with a great last bowl here.
She's done very well there.
She's played very, very credibly and very well under enormous pressure, really. She's playing against Lainey McGawn, one of the best female bowlers South Australia has to offer. That's no easy task, and
she's definitely not.
She's performed incredibly well.
Yeah, she's definitely held her own.
Lainey sits her own through. Appears to be holding shot with that. Mac's going to have a closer look to confirm that, though.
I think Di will be able to get in here.
Yeah, obviously has her own that's just in front of Jack to promote, and if she happens to sit the back bowl, that creates 2 shots. So,
exactly.
And not a great deal of risk if there's any Jack movement there. Sails through a bit, but goes.
She had the right idea.
And as they say, if in any result of it going to the tee, that's going to be the prime bowl.
Exactly.
So, definitely don't want to be correcting too much on that. You want to give it every single chance you've got, especially trailing.
I love it when the skipper down the other end says, "Oh, don't change anything," and then you go and change it, and it ends up worse.
I've done that way too many times to be proud of.
Yeah, no, join the club. I do that all the time.
I've always found I'm instinctively short when I correct, so if I'm told that, it's just going to make a mental note of being even further through.
Exactly.
Di Merch slows it down here. Unfortunately, I think she's slowing it down a bit too much.
Unless...
Yeah, died very quickly. That wasn't a pun, that was just the way it came.
And the pairs have finished, and...
the pairs is a 24-13 victory for the Eastern Raiders. So that's... I think that might be the one that...
That was a pretty big turnaround in that one.
Yeah, especially with the Rogues up early in that one, so that's a huge turnaround, and with that kind of margin, I'd say it's almost insurmountable.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
Going to the master board, 43 to 50, so even a 6 won't help the Rogues on this occasion.
No.
So the Raiders have secured themselves a victory here, so the rink points are what the Rogues are after now.
Yes, definitely. If they could get out of this with a draw, that I think they would be reasonably happy.
Exactly, and by no means out of reach for them. They've got a couple in the head. They've got probably one of the most able skips in the competition to do it for them. So
yes, most definitely.
We've got 4 cracking balls to come up.
And both have been bowling very well in this match.
Yeah, it's not been easy for the skips. Naturally, you've got to deal with the conditions plus everyone in front of you, be it short, good or bad.
Exactly.
Max lets it go very smoothly. Seems to be out on a nice trajectory.
He seems to like it.
He's let it go very well. Even I'm liking this bowl from the outset.
Oh.
Just touched his zone. Don't think it's going to be enough. And Steve Grant says go Raiders. He's a very happy man right now, and every reason why.
Exactly.
Tell you what, if the team keeps performing this well, the coach might not even make a debut. And Chris, Chris Label narrowly missed everything. You can tell he's a Crows fan. He kicked a goal.
Yes. Oh, look. Now, don't go there. Come on. That's a little bit... Oh.
Too soon, you reckon?
Yeah, no. Look, I must say, talking about that from last night, I must say it did look like a point. And I am a Crow supporter.
I didn't see the game. I'm a Kangaroos fan, so I didn't want to. Max Kleinig, this is a fantastic shot.
If he hits that...
Wonderful shot by the Kleinig.
That is a good shot there by Max.
And that makes it the Rogues holding a draw. And Chris not shy. He's letting it rip. He doesn't want it in there any longer.
And
here we go. We've got movement, and the Raiders have done it. They've managed to convert, even if by a fair bit of luck. It looks to be 2 shots for the Raiders. Max indicated what I think was 1. Difficult to say. And that's the end of that particular game.
What was it? 1 down?
One
so
down.
They lost
1
2
down to the
overall.
Rogues. So
So they lost that rank by 2.
Yeah, so the Raiders win by 2, 15-13, which gives them a total score of 51-43. So with all that said and done, the Raiders emerge victorious in today's round 3 game.
Yes, they do.
On behalf of myself, TJ Saunders, and the mayor, Miko, thanks for tuning in to everybody. By all means, tune in next Friday at 6 o'clock when we commence the Super League for round 4. Thank you and good night.
Okay, bye.